Hey guys, welcome to this week's recap of RuPaul's Drag Race. This week episode is the Daytona Wind 2. It's the reboot of Daytona Wins. If you like this content, please like and share with your friends so they can hop on board and enjoy this channel too as well. So let's get into the episode. So it's after the elimination. And Robin, she left her message to the girls, and she's rooting for Team Lucy. And I'm like, yeah, girl, it was either you or Lucy for me. But right now I have a new friend running. I'm actually looking at Lux. She's one of the girls I'm rooting for too now every time she keeps impressing me. And so yeah, Robin, she left her message and she's rooting for Lucy and she wants Lucy to win the competition. And Lucy, in her confessional, she actually thought that Robin would stay much more longer. I thought so too, because I felt like Robin, she always gave a great looks, great presentation, but I understand the judges' critiques of her that Robin tends to be a little bit too safe with everything she does. She's always going to give you beautiful. She's always going to deliver her lines, but they want a little extra. They want the pizzazz, you know. We're looking for star quality, guys, the star of the show. So Lucy, she asks the girls if they're shocked to who was safe, and then also if they were shocked if whether they should have been in the top or shocked with who was in the bottom. And of course, you know, Mistress, she gives her opinion. She felt like her group should have all been at the top. I agree. I felt like, you know, Lux always tends to be safe. She had some winning looks, yes, but I was surprised that she was considered safe the other round. So I can understand her group because her group performed. I don't know if Marsha should have been considered top because I felt like her looks didn't always deliver always. So I felt like she was safe. I thought that Marsha would have been in the bottom. So I was shocked that, you know, that she was even considered safe. So, you know, Mistress, she steers the pot a bit and she gets the girls talking about the argument that went down between Malaysia and Mistress group, which is pretty much Lux, because Lux was the other person who gave a lot of, you know, feedback towards Malaysia's group on whether they should be metal or not. And so Malaysia, she doesn't really want to entertain. She's pretty strong with what she said about the situation that has already had been addressed. So she doesn't feel the need to move on and talk. She doesn't feel the need to like really talk about it. She just wants to move on. But Mistress' whole point is that if it was discussed outside her presence, and she felt like if it's about her group, she's part of the group, she needs to be also able to give her 2 cents of the situation. And of course, Mother Dearest, Miss Sasha Colby, she tries to calm down the girls and the situation, but Mistress is like, girl, not every moment is a teachable moment. Like, she doesn't want, you know, to be mothered by Sasha. Like, that was not the moment for that. And you see it in Malaysia face. Malaysia, she's over it. She feels like Mistress is just a mean girl, and she, you know, has her feelings, and she just wants it to be considered valid, not to be questioned or said that it's pointless. Like, obviously she's upset about it, so you can't just dismiss her like that. I can understand her completely. So it's another day in the workroom, and all the girls are still processing the emotions of last week's challenges. And it's like, come on, guys. That was a cute moment when they had the banter of fighting for who was gonna do metal and who was gonna do country. So I didn't want them to drag on it so much. And luckily, Ru, he walks in. I'm like, where is Ru? Ru, can you like walk in and move this along? And so Ru walks in. And this week's Maxi Challenge is the reboot of Daytona Wins, but make it sitcom style. So remember previous seasons, Daytona Wind was the farting kind of situation. Every time they do the scene, they were fart. So this time it's gonna be background laughter, sitcom style. And so since Aura, she won last week, she gets to assign each girl their role, which is very powerful role. You can do a little sabotage or try to help someone out. You just have to be wise about how you construct, who you put into each roles. So, looking at the character choices, Fancy is a hot choice, okay? Every girl wants to be Fancy. Fancy is the star of the show, okay? So, of course, Selena, when she first sees it, she's like, she wants to be Fancy or Hattie. And Lucy's like, no, I want to be Fancy. But she's like polite about it. And Mistress is like, I really want Fancy. I was like, ooh. And then Lux, she drops her hat in and she says she wants to be Fancy. I said, oh no. This is going to be a part 2 of Metal versus Country. And Anitra, she drops that joke. I was like, okay, Anitra, don't start drama already. We're not even getting over what happened the previous challenge. Like, these queens are still in their feelings about it, and now it's gonna be escalated even more. I don't know. Aura, she says she wants Fantasy. I'm like, everyone's looking at her like, who is Fantasy? And already that's not a good sign, because if you don't know the main character's name correctly, I don't know if she did that as a joke or what, but that wasn't a good sign for Aura, as we see later in the episode. So Aura, she says she's gonna be Fantasy. Sorry, she got me saying it. She wants to be Fancy. And so since she's the leader to make choices, it's said and done, period. So the other girls, they quickly call out, okay, they're not getting that role, I'm gonna get this. So Aura actually dictates. She says she wants Malaysia as Revan, and that works out for her. She's happy about that. So Mistress, she drops it quickly. She's like, I want to do Widow. Lux is like, okay, I'll do Leo. Spice said, okay, I'll do Deandra, and Jax will do Jackson. So I thought, okay, that was easy this time around. And so they separate in their groups, pretty much rehearse their lines with their scene partners. And unbeknownst to them, they just actually finally realized that Mistress and Malaysia they have plenty of scenes together, so they have to work together. And everyone's like, ooh, how is that going to work out? Because they still have that drama over them. So that's a good sabotage, since this is a competition. So while this is going to be interesting considering last week's beef, Mistress, she's so clever. Mistress, as they're going through their lines, you could see that Aura is having difficulties saying her lines and getting the vibe, the essence of the character. She's not embodying the character. And so Mistress, she says, hey, this is a great idea. I think I see you best as Widow, and we should do a trade. And all the other queens who wanted Fancy is like, oh, look at Mistress pulling the wool, pulling a fast one on Aura, and Aura don't even see it. And Aura, she let Mistress gets the role because she sees it's hard and she doesn't want to fail. Fancy is the main character, gonna have a lot of lines, and she doesn't want this to be her downfall. I think in hindsight, I felt like, Aura, this would have been a great moment for you to be a little bit uncomfortable and shine. Capitalize from your win from last week and get on a roll of killing it. I felt like Aura shouldn't have given up her role like this, because we see that ultimately Mistress wins this, and rightfully so. And Mistress, she's doing what it takes to win. Mistress is not here to play, and all these girls gotta take notes. They gotta take notes, because Mistress, she's a strategist. She gives you strategy, she gives you fashion, she gives you looks, she delivers lines. Like, that's gonna be a problem. And I wonder what Lux is gonna think about this. Like, if that's gonna start an issue between us, because Lux, she's a competitive queen too as well. So that's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out in the future. So Mistress and Aura, they trade roles, and now Mistress, she's the main character. So we get on to rehearsal with Ru, and that is so intimidating because you want to shine in front of Rupaul, okay? You want to be able to deliver your lines, make him laugh, make him have a grand time, and believe in you, okay? And so when we see the girls rehearsing their parts in Daytona Win 2, Spice, it was interesting seeing her, how she takes direction from Ru. Rue wanted her to, take her time in delivering the lines, very, very much get into her character. And Spice, the way she takes direction, is so funny. But she made Rue laugh, which is good. That's gonna keep you in the competition. But when it was Malaysia's turn, she really sold her lines. Like, oh my god, this was like a perfect moment for Malaysia. And then the banter between Malaysia and Mistress, it worked like perfect. Like, you couldn't tell that they had beef prior to this. And Ruhi comments that. She said, wow, you guys work together so well. And he loves it. And the girls, they're laughing like that. We're such good actors. And I'm like, oh my god, such professionals. But I like that. I want Malaysia and Mistress to, squash your beef. So I love them together, actually. When we get to Aura, she couldn't remember her lines. I'm like, they're feeding her lines, and she's coming up with a different line. I'm like, Aura, no. No! And Rue's face was priceless. Rue looked so scared, looking at Aura like, huh? Like, what's going on here? And I'm like, come on, Aura. And then you see in her confessionals, Aura is like, I wish she kept her part. And I'm like, yeah, girl, I wish you kept your part too, because I felt like she read through Fancy's part, started practicing Fancy. She couldn't deliver Fancy, and she switched to another character that she thought would be easier for her to do. So you learn a whole new set of lines and try to deliver those lines when you should have just kept the first person you picked. Like, go with your gut instinct when you first chose so confidently to do Fancy. Like, you went in front of all these girls. You said, while they wanted Fancy, they say, no, queens, I'm doing Fantasy. So she should have stood on that. And I'm like, damn, that's gonna be interesting to see how that plays out for her. Next, we have Elimination Day in the workroom. So the girls are getting glam, preparing to present their fashion for the stage. And so we see, okay, Malaysia's so sweet. Malaysia's like, can we sit together? Like, can I sit next to you and get glam? Because that's what they usually do. They get ready, they get glam together. They're two peas in the pod. These are sisters, okay? So they talk, and you see that they want to mend things, okay? As much as they want to fight it, they want to mend things together. And Mistress, she tries to stress that the whole point of why she was upset was pretty much the word that was used could be misconstrued to being something more than what the situation was. Because, at the end of the day, no one wants to be called a bully. And for Malaysia to use the word bully towards Lux and Mistress, she felt like, no. I would never try to bully anyone here. It's all fun shade and just being silly. That's why I don't want these girls to press on this situation so much. So, Malaysia, she receives it, and they want it to be all fun and cute shade. So the beef is squashed, okay? They said they're big girls, so they can squash big beefs, okay? No problems. And I'm like so happy and relieved. I'm like, okay, that's good. Let's move forward, because I want to get to the fashion, because every time we go see the fashion runway, they do it too quick. So I'm like, come on, let's get to it. So it's time for the main stage, and RuPaul makes his grand appearance. And you see, when you first see RuPaul, you like, ooh, this blue, the material, super nice. I like that we got to see a little stomach. The color is so stunning. I just wish that the bow tie was tied a little bit different. Like, I felt like that could have been fixed a little bit better. And my main critique is that Michelle Visage, she was wearing a similar color, giving material similar, like cousins. And I'm like, oh, no, Michelle, you need to go change. You need to find a different look. I said, we can't both do blue. But Ru looked gorgeous. And the makeup and the wig was perfect, phenomenal. So the category is Puffer Please. So I'm ready to see some Puffer Please fashion sashay down the runway. So the first girl out is my girl, Lucy LaDuca. And I felt underwhelmed. Out of all her looks, this was not my favorite. I felt like it was a bit too costumey. Like, it's Sailor Moon, I get it, with a puffer cape. So I was like not too impressed. I felt like she could have been more creative with this. I'm curious to know what direction she was going with this. But I rated it at 8.1 because the execution was perfect. Like, everything, the outfit was done seamlessly. The makeup, the hair was nice. But I felt like she didn't shine like how she usually shines for me. Like, I was not too satisfied with this look. Out of all her looks, this was not my favorite for sure. Next, we had Spice. And for me, I rated Spice a little bit higher to Lucy LaDuca because I thought it was cute. I really liked the look. I liked the concept. It was not costumey because usually she does like a costumey kind of like a character of some sorts. Like, I know the girl that she always tries to be. This was a little bit different. You know, I just wish it gave more rich Aspen queen on vacation. Like, I felt like the material could have been a little bit different, but the style and the concept, I really liked it a lot. So that's why I gave it an 8.3. Next, with Miss Sasha Colby, I said, yes, mama. Yes, finally. Sasha Colby, she gave us a 10. I was like, thank you, Miss Ma'am, for saving this runway because I was let down by Lucy. I was okay with Spice, but Sasha, she really turned it out for us. Her look was super versatile and it was fully conceptualized. Like, I understand. It was hot. It was hot, okay? Whoever does Miss Sasha Colby looks, thank you. Next, we had Luxe. I gave Luxe a 10. I was kind of shocked when they gave her safe, but I really loved her look. I'm like, this girl, she gets it. I'm like, when does she ever not pull off a look? I thought her look was super fun, and most importantly, I love her energy. When she comes down the runway, I know she's gonna give it to us. That's why I kind of want to see Luxe do a lip sync for your life situation because I want to see what she serves. Like, I'm so curious to know what energy is giving because she is so good. Like, these girls should be on alert. Next was Miss Malaysia, Baby Doll Fox. And her look was so unexpected. I love the color. I love the concept. I love how grand it looked. I gave her look a 10. I'm like, damn, I'm giving 10s like it's nothing out here. Like, but these girls, they definitely earned it. They own it. I loved it. I loved her look. It's like getting better each and every week for Malaysia. I feel like she's getting close. She's getting close to that win. I could feel it. I want that for her. Next, Miss Aura. Miss Aura, you know, she's always going to give us material. She is our material girl, okay? The material on her look, I loved it. It was so chic. It was so luxurious. I felt like if Spice had this material for her look, that would have set her look off too as well. Gave her some higher points. But yes, Miss Aura, her look, perfect. I gave her a 9.7. I like that she put in her culture into it because it was like kimono style. I felt like it could have been I don't know what was missing for me to make it a 10, but I gave it a 9.7. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Always the material. I love it. Then we get Miss Jax. I was after seeing Sasha Colby, like, I don't know what's worse, Sasha Colby going before Miss Jax or after Miss Jax. Because after seeing Miss Colby's performance, Miss Jax look didn't stink. Like, I felt like the front of the look, though, it wasn't fitting how it was supposed to fit. Like, it felt like a jacket that could have been cinched a little bit more. I just wanted to do more cinching on her. Like, getting all the feedback that she gets, I would think that she, behind stage for the future, she should take some pins and, you know, pin it up, you know, tight, to do some cinching, something to give more justice to her body. I just don't know if she knows how to pad for her body or if she's completely opposed to it. But I was like, ugh. But even though I felt like compared to Sasha Colby's look, like her look was like, it was a bit, I felt like it should have been more drag. It should have been more out there. So for Jax, I give her look a 7.3 actually. A 7.3. Next for Mistress, when she came down, all I could say is she was super sexy. She took it out of the park. She didn't give what you always see on a bigger girl. She said she's gonna show her body and she's gonna own it. I gave her a 9.8, and the reason is because I wasn't too much of a fan of the pink and yellow combo. I felt like I didn't like pink and yellow. If it was a different color, two color blocks, I think I would have loved it more and give her a higher rating, but I gave her a 9.8. Now, when I saw Anitra come down the runway, I felt like this is the color combo that Mistress should have done. I like the pink and red, the bright pink and red combo, because all I could look is like, that is a super hot color combo. But I would rate Anitra's look a 9.4 because while it looked good, I felt like I needed more. Like if it was the concept of Mistress, like if this look, the color combo was on Mistress look and Mistress came on the stage, it would have been a 10. Next is Marsha. And I just thought it was flat. I said, oh no, baby, I need more. Like, no, like I feel like if Marsha was working at Chipotle and she was responsible in making my bowl, like she would give me not too much to eat. I would go hungry. I would go like, I would wither away to nothing because the way she giving us the portions, I'm like, no, baby, I want more. Feed us more. Give us more. So I gave Marsha a 7.1. And then after Marsha, we had Selena. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. And I was waiting for like a grand reveal because I was like, what's under that coat? Is she going to show like a cute look under that coat? But it was a little bit awkward for me. I felt like it could have used more. Like, something was missing, but I couldn't put my finger on it, you know? I like when the looks are versatile. That's what really gets me, really impressed me. So I gave Selena, I gave her an 8. I'm still waiting for her stand. I think last week she looked super beautiful, but this week I was like, it's okay. So next we got to see Daytona wins. And, you know, I felt like the star of this show is the guy who came out for the cameo to say Miss Vanjie outro. I love that the most. But, you know, the girls overall, they did it really great in Daytona Win reboot. Of course, to stand out, we have Mistress in Malaysia. They killed it. And all the other girls, they were pretty good in their scenes. But I felt like I could have... I always want more. I would have wanted more from the girls, you know? So I would say that the Daytona reboot was a success. So the girls should be proud of their performance. And now it's time to see what the judges think about the girls. So first, Rue let us know who's safe. And I am shocked. So the girls that are safe is Lucy, Sasha, Lux, and Selena. And I would have to say, okay, I understood with Lucy. Honestly, I was concerned. I thought Lucy would have been in the bottom. But, you know, she did okay in Daytona Wind. And her look was quite safe, I felt like. So it's not the worst. But she have done better. For Sasha, I was so shocked. Because Sasha, I really loved her runway. She killed it the runway. Probably because she picked a character that wasn't so standout in Daytona Wind. But I did love her scenes. Like, she, you know, gave us emotion. She gave us character. So, I felt like it was more a character choice with Sasha Colby. That's why she was a safe girl. But then with Lux, also same, I would say, same critique for Lux. Like, Lux look was very nice, very perfect. But in Daytona Wind, her character, you know, didn't provide enough for her of opportunities to stand out like the other girls. So that's why it's so important to get a really good character in these situations, because you can determine whether you're going to be safe or if you're going to be in the top. Because if your fashion is good and you get a simple character, you're going to be safe. But if your fashion is bad and you pick a safe character, oof, you're going to be in the bottom. I'm sorry, sweetie. Selena, she was also a safe girl, and I felt like she delivered in Daytona win, but her fashion wasn't too much, so it was like it could have gone either way depending on what the other girls would have gave. So I feel like Selena, she could have been close to being on the bottom, in my opinion. So now we get the judges' critiques, and so we're gonna judge Spice, Malaysia, Aura, Jax, Mistress, Anitra, and Marsha. So first up is Spice. And for fashion for Spice, I gave her 8.3. And what the judges thought is that she needs to do more on the runway, something more, because they're getting quite bored with her, because she has the same little routine that she struts around on the runway for all her looks. So it's making her come off as flat and boring. So, Spice needs to spice it up a bit for the judges. In Daytona wins, they said she was good, but they don't like that she always plays the airhead. They want to see more dimension from her. They want to see what else she can do. And I agree, that's very good feedback to take, that you can use in future challenges and improve. For Malaysia, I gave Malaysia 10, and what the judges say, especially Cresley, he said that this was one of his favorite looks. He loved how camp it was, and I agree. It was so grand. So they really loved her look, and they were so glued onto her in Daytona wins. They loved her performance and that she embodied the character. So I'm like, okay, Malaysia, this is the feedback. You're one of the top girls. You could possibly take it. Next, for Aura, I gave her a 9.7. And what they said was that she looked beautiful and that they loved her look. But the thing was with her in Daytona win is that she didn't pop. And it was difficult to direct her. So I said, oof. That's not a good sign, Aura. For Jax, they didn't talk about her fashion. But what they did comment is about her makeup and how she did her makeup in a way to make her eyes smaller. And that's something that she should actually avoid and pay mind to for future challenges. And for her Daytona win performance, what they said is that there was no point of view from her. They didn't understand her as a character, who she was trying to embody in her performance. And that she was just reading lines. And that's ooh, you didn't act. This is an acting challenge. You're supposed to act, not read. No, this was not a reading challenge. And so that was not a good sign for Jax. Next, for Mistress, I gave her a 9.8 in fashion. And what they thought is that she gave a really fun look, and that they loved that she really showed out on body positivity. They loved she loved the skin that she had, and she presented it. They loved the trick that she did with her boobies, which was amazing, that she did that also in Daytona wins, but also in her runway. So that was a great ad by her. And they loved her energy in Daytona win. She's so free and very funny. I said, okay, Mistress. I said, girl, you in the running to take this all to as well. Her and Malaysia. Who would have thought? Next, with Anitra, I gave her a 9.4. And what they liked about Anitra is that she owns the stage. When she walks, she really showcased her fashion. And I agree. She always turns us a really good look. For Daytona wins, her performance, she really connected to her scene partner and she provided great chemistry. So that's a good sign of you knowing how to act. Good job, Anitra. And lastly, we have Marsha. From Marsha, they needed more from her. In her fashion, they want more drag. They wanted more wrists. They want bigger for her. But they are happy to see that she does a little bit of progress and adding a little bit more makeup. But I feel like, the progress is quite slow. I just want to get there with her. But when it comes to performance in Daytona Wind, they say they can tell that she's a theater kid. Like, she's gonna shine. Like, all Marsha has to do is focus is improving her fashion and delivering her fashion. Just like how she delivers her acting and her lines when she performs. Like, she is super good with performing. Like, she committed to her character, and she was super fun for the judges to watch. So now it's time for the judges to declare who's safe, who's up for elimination, and who's the winner. So first thing first, Jax is first up for elimination. That was not a shock. I understood that. Next, we find out that Malaysia, she is safe. I say, okay, if not Malaysia, better be Mistress. And of course, Mistress wins. And that was deserved. That she got that spot. If it wasn't going to be Mistress, it was going to be Malaysia. Because those two, they really killed it. So I'm so happy and excited to see what they're going to deliver next week. I think their beef amongst each other makes them, compete and work hard. So this is a good thing for them. Next, we learn that Anitra and Marsha are safe. And I was a bit shocked because I'm like, Marsha, I just not understanding. I'm lying. I understand with Marsha, she's gonna deliver you acting. She's gonna give you passion. She's gonna give you energy. She's gonna deliver. She's gonna do that. So I understand. Okay, Marsha, you got this one. And then so we have now Spice, Aura to decide who's up. And Spice is declared safe last. And you could tell she was shaking in her boots. Like, oof, 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 oof. And, Spice, she's happy that she's safe. And she does the same thing she does in her runway back to the safe spot. And you could see the look on Michelle Visag's face. So annoyed. And then Ru, he does the funny thing. He's like, call the sniper to take this bunny off the stage, pretty much. So Spice says this is the last time that she's going to be delivering something new to them on the runway. So we look forward to that. And sadly, Aura is up for elimination. So we have an elimination between Jax and Aura. And, this is the first time for Aura to be in a lip sync. And this is Jax's second time back to back. So the girls are going to perform Sweetest Pie by Meg Thee Stallion and Dua Lipa. Yes, I love this song. And so when the song starts and it hits, the girls, they're dancing and Aura is giving sexy and Jax is giving you body, yaddy, yaddy performing. So I'm like, these girls know how to dance. I'm like, okay. But it's interesting enough, you see Aura blocking Jax, so the judges doesn't see Jax. But Jax is like, no. She's the queen with the moves. And I'm like, okay, Jax. Jax showcase and does a whole bunch of flips and performance. I say, okay, I want more Jax. Give it to Jax. And I'm like, before Ru even says it, I'm like, Jax is here to stay. Just say it, Ru. And at the end, Jax is safe for another week. And for another week, Aura, unfortunately, is eliminated. But I felt like Jax is such a fierce competitor when it comes to lip sync. She may be the lip sync assassin in this competition. And so Aura, she wasn't expecting to be eliminated. So she didn't have a send-off outro line prepared. And so she says a comment and the girls are like, oh, it's so odd. Like, ooh, it was deep. Like, her dead dad will haunt them all. I was like, ooh, that's a bit tragic. So we get a little preview of next week's episode, and it's gonna be a lip sync Lollapalooza. So I'm excited for this because I want to see how Lux does in this, and I want to see our newfound lip sync assassin Jax, how she goes against these girls. Okay, so if you like this episode, please like and share, and don't forget to subscribe. Join the squad, join the team. And don't forget, share as much kindness to all. See you next week. Bye.